What's up guys, we're here. Last time I showed you guys how to make a Don't Starve Together dedicated server. And I based this on a way that I'm not really proud of. It's on a way that you use to cluster from the in-game servers, and you will have some problems if you want to get into the mods. And if you want to activate caves, it will be sometimes a hassle, sometimes it won't. So after I tried to enable mods on my server, I came to the conclusion I had to start from the beginning. Learn again how to make a dedicated server. This time we're gonna do it the proper way. So we first start off by download the Don't Starve Together dedicated server tool. And instead of play game, you already see a difference, we go to properties, local files, browse local files. So very first thing we're gonna do is run the server. This will create files and the files we need and to work with. So you go to bin, scripts, and launch pre-configured servers. Now this will give you an error because we haven't generated anything yet and nothing will work, everything will cry that nothing works. So we're gonna shut down both servers, do c underscore shutdown, round brackets, c underscore shutdown, and both servers will be dead. Okay, so what we have now is we have this file. I'm gonna keep that open because we're gonna need it again later. We're gonna go to klei, which is in documents, and we're gonna open another one of these. Because as you can see, we have both caves and overworld. So we're gonna open both. The very first thing we're gonna have to do is to generate cluster token, and apparently there are two ways of doing this. If good, we don't need Steam at this point anymore. You can type it in the game, like the dnet generate cluster token, or you can go to account. I won't go into account because it will show all the things for my personal playing time and my server settings, so I won't show you guys that. But we're gonna type dnet generate cluster token. So you won't get anything in game, but we're gonna have to open another one of these. We go to klei, do not starve together, not easy config. We go to here, and we will have the cluster token. So you copy, and we paste this into cluster 1 in both cases. There won't be any difference. What we're gonna do now is, after putting in the cluster token, we're gonna have to create the server settings. So we go into master, and we're gonna create world gen override. And I provided every file we're gonna need because these are different. We have a slave server, which will be the caves, and we have a master server, which will be the overworld. And I didn't choose these words, these are general terms. So the slave server will mean it will run, but it will only run if overworld is saying you can run. So yeah, I called these files like where they upload and which file they should around be. So like, we're gonna go into overworld now. We're gonna do new text document and open it. And we're gonna copy all this code. And what you will see here is these are the server settings. Like, do you want to start in season start? Do you want to start in winter, spring, summer? We're gonna leave these normal for now, all default. If you want to change these, this is the file. So we're gonna do save as all files, and we're gonna call it world gen override.lua. The .lua is an extension, the game knows how to interpret it, and that's why you have to save as all files. This will be the file extension, not .txt anymore. So save, and you can safely close this. So you will still have new text document, delete that, and again we do the same here, but now with a slightly different code. and the difference will be here. Override enable true. Preset is DSD cave. So yeah, we're gonna do the same thing, call it the exact same. And again, all files. Closed again. And we can delete this. Okay, so we've generated the worldgen override.lua. Now we have to create the cluster.ini in both servers in the same file. So we are in master. We're gonna do again new text document, double enter because that's quick, and we're gonna go here, save as all files, cluster.ini, and delete this again. I'll provide the code from these files. I'm pointing, you guys can't see that. From these files, so all of you can simply do the same as I did, copy paste. So the thing with the cluster is in cluster.ini, I'll show it in here actually. In the cluster.ini file, you can say I want this to be my server name, this to be the description, and this to be the password. And here's the game mode. So if you want to play on endless, for instance, you just change this. If you want more than 10 people, just change this. It's up to 64 people. PvP, you want the server to continue when you're not in there. These are the file settings you have to change in both cluster.ini files. So I would recommend changing these first and then see if everything works. Because I had some problems not setting up the slave server correctly and both settings never changed. So that's my advice to you guys. We would have to create server.ini, you would think, but hey, that file already exists, so we just have to edit it. And we're gonna go here, paste, and save. And let's just close this one with Notepad. So this is the case version again, if I'm correct. Yes. So we save both. So now we have, if good, all the files. We've created the server itself. We have put in cluster token. Yep. We've created cluster.ini, server.ini. We've changed because there's nothing in this standardly, and worldgen override. For the people that want to know what is in server is which server is the slave, which server is the master, and the ports. If good, you don't need to port forward for this. For people that don't know, back in the Minecraft days or something, when I was a kid, I had to port forward to a certain slot, which a router knows people can join onto without having too much encryption, so your friends can actually join. If good, that doesn't need to be done here. So, we've generated all the files, and now if good, we can check if the code works, if everything works. So we're going back into scripts and launch pre-configured servers. If good, we will end up with world generation. That's nice. This is the case, and we will need to check double there. Come on. I don't see that it's the slave server, so for this is a bad point. Okay, so after a bit of searching, I found out where my mistake was. The cluster file is not supposed to be a master, so we're just gonna do cut and paste. Same here, cut and paste. Oh. This is a bit too far. Needs to be here. So my mistake, my bad. I will make a notation in the video. So the cluster.ini file is supposed to be in cluster 1 and not inside master. My bad. Very sorry. So we're gonna launch the server now, and if good, we're gonna read that one is the slave and one is the master server. Sending slave information. Slave caves is ready. Slave Lua is now ready. Yes. So this means that if good, we're gonna go to browse games, LAN because I don't want to sort now. Test server. See, test server, welcome. We can also just do this and do. Thing is, a lot of people name the server like this. So here it is. So you can see it's not only on LAN, it's also here. And modded and passworded. Modded will be explained in a separate video I will make now. And passwords is literally inside one of the files. So I will close the servers again. And here's where you put password, like chicken or something. So you would put that in cluster.ini. Where would you put your server settings? Like, I wouldn't recommend changing these because these are the ports and the standard ports are okay. Almost no other programs use these, so I wouldn't recommend changing a server. If you want to change server settings, you have to change them in both caves and overworld into the world gen override. So for say we want to start in the winter. No. Okay, now we start in winter if I change it in both worlds. This is basically it. This is how you do a proper dedicated server. I hope you guys understand, and if you don't, please post a reply. I will try to reply to everybody of you, just like in the previous video. I hope you guys made everything work. I really do hope so. See you in the next one.